Straight ahead on 12 News, the Hour of Code. We visit Osseo area schools to show you a national effort to teach kids computer programming skills. Then, the flu shot in need of a boost. We'll explain the evolving problem affecting this year's flu vaccine. But first, the arrest in Plymouth that could crack dozens and dozens of unsolved burglary cases. 12 News starts right now. Hello and thanks for joining us. A suspected serial burglar is in jail awaiting charges after police say he broke into more than 60 businesses.
A salon in Plymouth was hit last week, and the owner says she's relieved to hear the suspect has finally been caught. Cassie Bonstrom has the latest.
It's back to business as usual at Luxe Salon and Boutique in Plymouth. Colleen Blank is cutting and styling hair instead of last week when she was filing police reports and surveying the damage left behind by a burglar.
I walked through the door back there and into here, and then you could see that we were broken into. Things in all the drawers and everything was like just ripped apart and on the floor.
Now, a week later, she's happy to hear the suspect, Robert Pfeiffer, is behind bars.
Police identified Pfeiffer on December 1st after he burglarized a business in Eden Prairie. Several agencies came together to track him, and they followed him here to Plymouth, where they caught him breaking into this fantastic Sam's.
In the past 5 weeks, authorities believe he has hit more than 60 businesses, mostly strip mall salons, at night or in the early morning hours.
He would probably go in, hit one, spend a couple minutes there, drive around, find another target. He would do several in one night.
It was kind of like this when I got here.
Sergeant Becker says Pfeiffer gained access to the business, including Colleen's, by using a tool to pry open the door.
It was just so bent. This thing was bent over.
In total, authorities say he stole more than $10,000 on his crime spree. But from Colleen's store, he only got away with about $100. All in all, she feels pretty lucky.
What do you do? And it was minor. Nobody was hurt. It's a business. It's not your home. It could have been a lot worse.
In Plymouth, I'm Cassie Bonstrom, 12 News.
Criminal records show this isn't Pfeiffer's first brush with the law. He's been charged with burglary more than a dozen times before. He is currently being held in the Hennepin County Jail awaiting charges.
If you drive through Plymouth regularly, get ready to practice patience. Some major construction projects are on tap for 2015. A $20 million 2-mile north-south reconstruction of Vicksburg Lane will likely begin this summer. It'll include building a bridge over the CP rail line, a spot which has caused some problems for vehicles crossing over the rail tracks. The Vicksburg Road project will help accommodate more traffic when it's finished, but it can't begin until other nearby construction projects on Peony Lane and Cheshire Parkway are finished.
So we really can't start another north-south project until those are completed, because as I said, the traffic is going to be a challenge for us no matter what. We don't want to add or compound that traffic by not having other routes open.
Another complicating factor is that work will begin in 2015 on a third lane along 494 in Plymouth. The City Council is expected to make a recommendation tonight on when to begin the Vicksburg Lane construction. It's expected to be finished by 2017. Students from the Northwest Metro and across the world are celebrating Computer Science Education Week.
Many of the students are participating in an event called the Hour of Code. Sonia Goins is live now to show us how it will help students in the Osseo School District. Sonia?
Now, Mike and Alex, the whole idea is to make computer science accessible to kids everywhere. Now, the group Code.org says anyone can learn to code. Now, there are about a dozen schools in the Osseo School District who are participating in the Hour of Code event.
In order for a computer to do anything,
students at Garden City Elementary in Brooklyn Center are clicking on their computers.
You have to give it some computer codes.
And doing something many of them have never done before, computer programming.
Hour of Code folks have set up several different websites, all at various levels, and students can actually make a computer program.
This second grade class is participating in the Hour of Code. The 1-hour introductory course is designed to take the terror out of technology.
If kids see that you do this step, and this step, and then something happens, they begin to understand how important coding is.
The hope is students will take the knowledge they learn in the classroom and apply those same skills to jobs in the future.
Over 1 million jobs in computer science and programming went unfilled last year because we didn't have the people to do that. Companies need those people and oftentimes will go overseas to do that. We don't want that to happen. I want all my kids to have those jobs.
Students at Garden City seem excited about learning something new.
It was fun.
Now on Friday, kindergartners will learn how to code. The Osseo School District doesn't offer any official coding classes, but students at Fernbrook Elementary can take classes during their lunchtime. Now, Mike and Alex, also the Apple stores everywhere all across the nation are offering free coding classes on Thursday. I checked with Ridgedale, there's still some classes offered. In the newsroom, Sonia Goins.
All right, thanks a lot, Sonia. A Brooklyn Park lawmaker will hold a new leadership position, although she'll do so in a much different political landscape. DFLer Melissa Hortman was named one of 3 deputy minority leaders by her caucus. Hortman's new role comes as the DFL party loses control of the Minnesota House. Republicans will have majority control for the first time since 2012.
A Brooklyn Park shopping center could become the site for a church. A Christian ministry called Winners Chapel International would like to open a 250-seat church inside the Broadway Square shopping center. Winners Chapel first formed in Nigeria and has branches throughout Africa and in other U.S. locations. The church would require interior remodeling in the mall, and the plan is to hold services early on Sundays so it won't interfere with other tenants.
A big honor for Golden Valley-based General Mills. This week, the company was named to the Civic 50 list for being one of the most community-minded companies in the United States. According to General Mills, 76% of its employees do some sort of volunteer work. The company also has a goal of providing 200 million meals by the year 2020 to help alleviate worldwide hunger. Coming up, why this year's flu vaccine could use a shot in the arm itself, what you need to know about this year's shot.
And then later in sports, a former Park Center basketball star plays in his home state.
But first, some welcome sunshine to start off your Wednesday. Temperatures should approach freezing.
Contractors are putting the finishing touches on the new dryland training facility now attached to the Plymouth Ice Center.
Construction of a 7,500 square foot expansion onto the back of the Plymouth Ice Center is nearly completed. Sports training group Acceleration Northwest is moving from Xenium Lane and leasing this space from the city. Here, athletes will be able to get training and individual coaching for a variety of sports.
It's also another way to supplement the lack of ice there is at times, and also, you know, the weather that comes in different spring sports and stuff like that, where you can, you know, if lacrosse it's still snowing out, there's snow on the ground, or golf and stuff. I mean, Minnesota's a crazy, you know, state like that, so it's nice to be able to give them an opportunity to train inside.
Chiropractic services and physical therapy will also be available in the building. An open house is scheduled for Saturday, December 13th from 9 to 5. Every year, doctors and healthcare professionals advise people to go out and get vaccinated against influenza.
Yet picking the correct flu strains to vaccinate against doesn't always work out as the experts have planned. And this year is one of those years. Joining us now for more on that is Delane Cleveland with today's Health Check Report. Delane?
Mike and Alex, the CDC reports that the most common flu viruses circulating right now are mutated versions of the vaccine. In other words, the flu vaccine this year is a poor match, but that doesn't mean you should ignore the flu shot altogether.
We know that there is some cross protection, even if the flu vaccine doesn't exactly match the circulating strain. And in addition to that, there are usually more than one strain of flu circulating. So the flu vaccine is still well matched to those other strains we'll probably see circulate this year.
Officials from the Minnesota Department of Health say in the last couple of weeks they've seen an increase in hospitalizations and positive influenza tests. That's why they're encouraging people to get flu vaccinations in order to build up their immune systems. At this Walgreens in New Hope, about 10 to 15 people come in each day to get their flu shots, but pharmacists say people as a whole could do better.
If I had the option to give 100 a day, I would do 100 a day. It'd be great. It'd be great. I'd love to be able to do that and I have the time. We have the time to do it. We make the time to do it. So everyone is welcome to get a flu shot.
Health officials recommend that anyone 6 months and older should get a flu vaccination unless you can't get one for medical reasons. And Mike and Alex, the Department of Health has a tool where you can find out places where you can get a flu shot. I have a link to that on the web version of this story at 12.tv.
Uncertain this year, though, as to how bad this flu year will be.
Right, they don't know, and the flu season itself could go well into May, as a matter of fact. So we'll have to see what happens.
All right, Elaine, thank you very much. Coming up, the push to get a leg up on hunger in Golden Valley.
But first in sports, a former University of Minnesota standout is the new coach for the Cooper girls basketball team. John Jacobson has that and more when we come back.
Well, there's a new basketball coach in town, and she was a pretty good player in her day as well.
She was a good player at St. Paul Central and at the University of Minnesota. Now trying to offer some words of wisdom, some good coaching to players in New Hope. The Cooper girls basketball team has a new head coach again this season. She isn't far removed from her playing days. St. Paul native and former Gopher Kiara Buford is the Hawks' new coach this season. Her last season with the Gophers was 2011-2012. She's 8th on Minnesota's career scoring list. 25-year-old Buford says she's enjoying coaching high school ball.
I love it. You know, basketball is in my blood, so playing right now, it's awesome to be able to come to practice, be involved, kind of teach the girls what I've been able to learn and absorb from basketball. And I think it's been a great shaping of, what my career has come to be. So I love being here, and I love being here for them.
With a pretty young team, the Hawks are off to an 0-3 start, although one of the losses was in overtime. Despite the slow start, the players see some things to build on.
We're small, and we can be really quick up and down the floor more than other teams.
Our speed, most definitely our speed. And I think our defense is good. We need to work on it a little bit, but I think we can be really aggressive on defense.
We have experience, but the athleticism and the natural ability is definitely there, and I think that is definitely our strength. I want to kind of build off of creating from defense and stuff like that.
It's a busy week for Cooper with road games Tuesday and Thursday, and then their home opener Friday against Columbia Heights. Like the Cooper girls, Armstrong's boys basketball team has a busy week. Falcons have games Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. Armstrong enters Tuesday night with a 4-0 record, and they're rated 5th on the Class 4A state poll. After 3 blowouts, the Falcons pulled out a 1-point thriller against Tutino Grace Friday. Overall, they like the way the things are going.
Yeah, we're a good team, hard-working, get a lot done in practice, consistent.
I feel like everybody stepped up in this last game, especially. I think we have a good team this year, better than most of the years that we've had at Armstrong, and I feel like we can actually get it done this year and make a state run.
Illness and injuries have tested Armstrong's depth a bit so far. The Falcons are on the road Tuesday against Park Center and Thursday against Osseo before meeting Roseville Saturday at the Breakdown Tip-Off Classic at Minnetonka High School. One of the area's top basketball players in the past decade had a homecoming Monday night, although it didn't quite go the way he had hoped. Number 21 for the University of North Dakota, Quinton Hooker, was in Minneapolis to take on the Gophers, the 2013 Minnesota Mr. Basketball for Park Center. Hooker had 7 points and 7 assists for North Dakota in a 92-56 loss to Minnesota. A sophomore, Hooker is averaging 9.2 points and 3 assists this season. Quinton had the winning shot Saturday in a game against Drake. De La Salle High School's boys basketball program has featured some outstanding players and teams over the past 2 decades. This year is no exception. On this week's Sports Jam show on Channel 12, Jason Malillo profiles Islander senior Jarvis Johnson of Brooklyn Park and his remarkable story. Here's part of what you'll see.
When he's on the court, Johnson is often laughing and smiling. Part of that is a pure joy for the game of basketball, but it also comes from knowing how precious life is.
It was so crazy because everything happened so quick.
When Jarvis Johnson was in 8th grade, he collapsed at basketball practice. His heart stopped.
And then they pronounced me dead because I was dead from 7 to 12 minutes. So after that, you have no oxygen. So, yep, I was pronounced dead.
Somehow Johnson was revived and suffered no long-term physical damage. But a near-death experience like that does change your perspective on life.
Stuff like that doesn't happen regularly on a daily basis. So it just makes me put myself even harder, to go hard every day, even in the classrooms.
You can see the rest of Jarvis's story and much more this week on Sports Jam. It airs through Wednesday at 3:30, 6:30, and 9:30 p.m. on Channel 12 and 12.tv. And that's a look at sports for today.
All right, thanks a lot, John. A place to drive and dine is also a place to find Santa's helpers.
Wagner's Drive-In in Brooklyn Park is not only preparing burger patties, it's also collecting toys for kids to give to the Salvation Army. And with 16 days until Christmas, there is a lot of work to be done to make it a Merry Christmas for kids who are less fortunate. That's because toy donations are down this year. Donations help kids ages 3 on up through high school. And Wagner's will collect toys this Tuesday and Thursday from 3 to 8:30 p.m. And if you bring in a toy, you can receive a couple bucks off your meal as well. Still ahead, the effort to kick hunger in Golden Valley.
Plus, we light up the holiday season with a trip to see the lights in New Hope. We'll be right back.
The holiday spirit is alive and well in New Hope. We found this lighting display in the 9,000 block of Northwood Circle. There are so many lights here, you could probably see this from a passing jetliner. Despite the warmer weather ahead, there is a family of happy snowmen in the yard, and our photographers are looking for more lights before Christmas. If you know of an outstanding display in your neighborhood, let us know about it. Send an email to news@12.tv. and we'll try to get it on the air before Christmas. That's amazing.
All lit up there,
Yeah.
wow.
Finally, it's about the only place where you'll find rugged NFL football players wearing hairnets.
Several Minnesota Viking players, past and present, suited up and joined the effort to tackle hunger at Second Harvest Heartland in Golden Valley. The players joined hundreds of United Healthcare employees to pack food for hungry Minnesotans. More than 500,000 Minnesotans miss an estimated 100 million meals each year. For Vikings Pro Bowl kicker Blair Walsh, today's effort is one way to step up and take on the problem.
This is near and dear to my heart, and to see all the difference that they make out there, packing food, helping those who are in need. We got a lot of great volunteers today, and it's nice that we come out here and do this and help the community.
Also in the lineup, former Viking Stu Voigt. Little trivia, he happens to be the last Viking player to catch a touchdown pass in the Super Bowl. Name that year on the spot, guys. What do you say?
76 or 77, that would have been. Long time ago.
Long time ago.
He should wear that on his t-shirt.
That's right. That's exactly right.
Good for those guys.
That does it for us. Thanks so much for joining us.
Stay with us. Community Corner is coming up next here on Channel 12, and we'll see you again tomorrow beginning at 4.